Paul, you've had a week on the training ground to prepare for this weekend at Reading. How are preparations going ahead of this one?
Good, I think, although we trained at the stadium today because with this lovely rain that we've had, the training ground was unplayable really. But overall, we're concentrating a lot on us and what we want to try and improve in terms of on the ball, a lot of it, but also today then looked at Reading and some of the out of possession work, I suppose. I went to watch them on Tuesday night. They got a good win, played some good football. Obviously some takeaways as always when you watch opposition of some things that you might think you can potentially hurt them as well. But definitely got some players that can cause you problems at the top end of the pitch, and that'll all go into and has done into the planning for Saturday.
Yeah, what sort of challenge will Reading represent this weekend? I see from looking at the stats they're in the top 6 for home form this season. They've been in decent form of late, haven't they, to climb out of the bottom 4? A team in form, you could say.
I think in very good form. I think they lost a game not so long ago, but before that were on an unbeaten run. And I think in general, I just don't think that they look anything like a sort of relegation threatened team. They're now, again, you add some points on, the situation looks not as bad as it perhaps was. But the players that they have, I think it doesn't make sense. I know that there's off-field, obviously, issues, and that hasn't, I'm sure, been easy for the players at times as well, and the general feel around a football club. But when you look at it, still a big club in this league. You turn up to the stadium as we will at the weekend, and it's very impressive. It'll be again for me a good place for us to go on Saturday, and be a good atmosphere, nice pitch to play on, good surroundings, and I think they're still up there in terms of the budget, realistically. So I think it's a tougher challenge than perhaps people first might think. At the same time, we go there trying to build on performances, I think. Can we, get the results to sort of match that? That's what we'll be aiming to do. But it's not lost on me in terms of, as I said, the quality of certainly some of the players that Reading have at their disposal.
You've taken 5 points from the first 5 games since you've returned to the club as head coach. Is that harsh? Do you feel you deserve more given the overall performance level in those 5 matches?
I think in general I would say yes. At the same time, we sit here and I'm sure there's lots of managers, head coaches up and down the country that will feel same about runs that they've been on, etc. And we somehow got to make it happen. All I would say is I'm not totally for this, it's about the process and performances. But I do think that the more often you play better, I think it's pretty common sense, certainly over an extended period, that results should improve. Either that or you're extremely unlucky, whether that's injuries, refereeing decisions, blatant mistakes. I think that's something that you hope that with performances will come better results. So conscious of that, but at the same time, there's an element of trying to make sure we do all we can just to win the game or accumulate points, because that's where we're at for the period of the season we're in, and in terms of league position, and I guess the overall situation that we find ourselves in.
It's very well documented that goal scoring has been a problem for the team all season. Are you taking some encouragement from the fact that you are making chances, more chances perhaps than we've seen in some Shrewsbury Town matches since you've come back, even reflecting on the Wigan game last week, their keeper made some good saves. You had so many corners. You take heart, encouragement from that?
Yeah, certainly. I genuinely not stood on the side of the pitch and just thought we're not going to score a goal. that hasn't been, entered my head. Fully aware of, again, how many goals we have scored and kind of set plays, how many they've contributed, etc. So we know that we haven't been a free scoring team, but a change in terms of approach, whether you include formation or whatever. But I think what I've been told, and I guess what I've witnessed, I think there's a different feel to the games that we're involved in. And as a result, I do feel like we have carried more threat. But you still have to take your chances. But I guess you've got to, when you talk about strikers, say, I worry about it when they're not getting chances. And I've said before, I don't care if it's with the strikers, it's the centre-backs, full-backs, wingers, whatever it is, as long as we're creating. And I think we've done that. I think the goalkeeper last week got in the EFL Team of the Week, I think I saw. So it suggests he did some things pretty well and didn't have an easy afternoon. But at the same time, we didn't get on the score sheet. So we've got to try and be more clinical, if possible. But the encouraging sign for me certainly is the fact that I feel like we have carried a goal threat, and I know some people that have watched us that have felt exactly the same. We need to continue in that vein, that's for sure.
In terms of the lower half of the League One table, it is so close. You've been here in this position before at this football club when you first came in 2016 to 2017. Does that help, the fact that you've been over this sort of ground before?
I'd like to think so. And again, just the experiences that I've had over time, a lot of games now that I guess have been involved in. It can't do any harm, certainly. I guess the flip side to that, or the question then, would be about the players. Now, I think we've got quite a lot of experienced players, so I'd like, whether they've been through, if we're going to call it a relegation battle, I'm pretty sure some of them will have been, but I haven't looked in detail at that. But it is a different group of players, obviously, and we're up against different teams in terms of personnel. Some of the names might be similar, but each sort of season's different. At the same time, what I would say, it certainly doesn't faze me or strike me with fear. I think it is what it is. We get on with it, and I'm just genuinely pleased to be back. That I've touched on quite a few times. I'm trying to get the best out of these players, and each game that we've been involved in so far, we've more than held us own, I would suggest. So that again gives the encouragement that we can get results, and hopefully that will be proven in the remaining games.
How's availability looking for this weekend? Lots of options?
Yeah, we have got a slight concern on a player that I've, unfortunately for the listeners, I don't want to share with them. So we'll have to see what that looks like. We travel down tomorrow, so we'll see whether the player becomes available to us or not. Other than that, we've had a couple of knocks in the week, but in terms of training today, they were all back out there.
And how's Tom Flanagan and George Nurse as well? Are they getting closer? Are they making good progress?
Tom actually joined in part of training Tuesday, and then today he trained with the group. So that's really encouraging for us. George is just, unfortunate where he is, and again, you've seen him there. He's lost his mate in terms of rehab and doing the work. So he's kind of on his own now, which I guess is an element that gets even tougher. But I've just said to him, the sort of end goal for him is in sight. So just to keep going, keep his head down, keep working hard, and just give himself the best chance when he does come back and is available to us.
Is there a chance that Tom Flanagan might be in the squad for the weekend, or too soon?
Too soon, I think, Stuart. But like I said, pleasing. Hopefully, we'll kind of see. And again, there'll have to be conversations with Tom. There'll have to be conversations with the medical staff in terms of how quickly, in real terms, we feel that he can be involved, but certainly in my mind, that this weekend is certainly too soon.